What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NBA player props on Prizepicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 15 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get 15 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $6,750 just yesterday. Another member who won $61 for the 5th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description. So go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group. And I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to be talking about is Duncan Robinson for 2.5 rebounds, and this one is for less. Now look at Duncan Robinson. We've actually seen him go in the under in 3 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than the Milwaukee Bucks. Now look at the Milwaukee Bucks. We actually do see that when it comes to rebounds allowed, they do rank 20th. However, when it comes to Milwaukee Bucks, they do a very good job at restricting rebounds to the forward position, and that is a big reason why we do very much like the under for this one. When it comes to Robinson, he doesn't usually have a high usage rate in the rebounding department. Over the last 2 games, he has been able to put up some pretty good rebounding numbers, but we think those games are a little bit of an outlier, and we should see him come back down to normal and see him go on the under, as this line now is a little bit too high. His averages over the last 5 is 3. However, we think those 2 outlier games have pushed this line a little bit too high. Now there's a lot more value to go on the under, especially since Milwaukee do a really good job at restricting rebounds to the forward position. So we definitely see him going on the under in this situation here. And when we look at what the bookies are saying, the bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So that works out in our favor there. So all signs point towards the under for this one. And for that reason, Duncan Robinson, 2.5 rebounds for less, I think is a great pick. Now getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about none other than Tumani Camara. So as you all know, Tumani, great player for the Portland Trail Blazers, and this one is a great one for points and rebounds. So this one's actually a combo one for 15.5, and this one is for less. Now look at Tumani Camara. We've actually seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than Orlando Magic. Now we look at Orlando Magic, we do see that they rank 2nd when it comes to points allowed, and then moving on into rebounds allowed, we also do see that they do rank 2nd as well. Now the reason why we do like the under for this situation here is that Orlando Magic just rank very high when it comes to restricting points and rebounds, and on top of that, they also do a great job at restricting rebounds to the forward position, which is what Camara is. So we definitely see him going on the under in this situation here. His average over the last 5 is 14.6, so significantly under this line, which also works out in our favor. Now when we look at the matchup as well between Portland and Orlando are a little bit of a slower paced team, and we actually tend to see Orlando do a really good job at slowing the pace for teams down, especially for someone like Portland. So we see Portland coming down and slowing the pace to Orlando's pace, and for that reason it could lead to a less volume from Tumani, which should see him go on the under as well. So all signs point towards the under also for this one, especially for someone like Camara, who does and is coming off a game where he only had a 6 as his combo for points and rebounds. So we think we should see a similar result coming into this next one, especially against a tough defensive team like Orlando Magic. So for that reason, we are sticking to the under for this situation. So Tumani Camara, 15.5 points and rebs for less, I think is a great pick. Now getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about Kel'el Ware. So as you all know, Kel'el Ware, another fantastic player. He is from Miami Heat, and this one is actually a 3-pointers one. So 3-pointers made for 1.5, and this one actually is for less. Now look at Kel'el Ware. We've actually seen him go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than the Milwaukee Bucks. Now look at the Milwaukee Bucks. We do see that when it comes to 3 points made allowed, we see that the Milwaukee Bucks do rank 22nd. And when it comes to also 3-point attempts allowed, we see that the Bucks do also rank pretty low as they rank 23rd. However, a big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here is that Milwaukee Bucks do a great job at restricting 3-point attempts and also 3 points made to the center position, which is what Kel'el Ware usually does play. Now, Ware doesn't have that high of a usage rate in these departments. Obviously, he isn't the main center for this Miami team, and on top of that, he doesn't have that high of a usage rate in the 3-point department. Yes, he can hit threes here or there, but especially against a team like Milwaukee, who do a great job at restricting 3-point attempts and 3 points made to the center position, we definitely like the under more for this situation here. Kel'el Ware is a great player, do not get me wrong, but his average over the last 5 is 1.4, which is under this line as well, which works out in our favor. Now, on top of this, when we look at what the bookies are saying, the bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So all signs as well point towards the under for this one. So Kel'el Ware for 1.5, 3 points made for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but Prizepicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Tyrese Haliburton. Now Tyrese Haliburton, great player, and he's been averaging so far this season 17.9 points, 3.6 rebounds, 8.8 assists, while also shooting 44.4% from the field. So he's done a great job for none other than the Indiana Pacers, and the Indiana Pacers do have themselves a great matchup against the San Antonio Spurs. Now Pacers so far this season have a 24-19 record, and Spurs with a 19-22 record. Now Spurs, when it comes to points allowed, do actually rank 15th. They also rank 14th when it comes to assists allowed, so very close to it. And then lastly, moving on into rebounds allowed, they do rank 26. So they rank very mid to low tier in all three categories, and for that reason we do very much like the over for this situation here for someone like Tyrese Haliburton. Haliburton is not only a fantastic player, but he definitely has a decent usage rate in all three departments. He may be a little bit lower on rebounds, but I definitely see points and assists something to focus on. Rebounds, he still definitely has the capability to go on the over, but I think points and assists is definitely where you want to focus on. When it comes to this matchup as well, we are expecting a good amount of pace from both of these teams. Pacers are a pretty fast-paced team, so are Spurs, so the pace is definitely going to be there, which should lead to a lot more volume for someone like Tyrese to be able to go over on his line. Now, he is coming from a game where he only had 9 points, 9 assists, however, and 5 rebounds, so he did well in the rebounds and assists, a little bit worse in the points, but we think we should see him be able to bounce back, especially against an easier matchup, such as that of San Antonio Spurs. So, for that reason, keep an eye out for his line. If it is under his averages, definitely look to go on the over, so I see a lot of value there. Now getting to the next player, we're going to be talking about Kyrie Irving. So Kyrie Irving from the Dallas Mavericks has done a fantastic job for the Dallas Mavericks, averaging 24.2 points, 4.5 rebounds, 4.8 assists, while also shooting 48% from the field. So he's done a great job there, and the Dallas Mavericks do have themselves a very good matchup against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, when we look at Oklahoma City Thunder, we see that they rank first when it comes to points allowed, third when it comes to assists allowed, and when it comes to rebounds allowed, Oklahoma City are a little bit worse as they rank 28th. So this one's an interesting one, but when it comes to Kyrie Irving, we do very much like the under for this situation here, however, for points and also assists. Now, Kyrie does get a couple of rebounds, however, we think that due to the fact that OKC do rank a little bit lower in that category, it's definitely more of a 50-50. I would focus a lot more on the under for points and assists, especially for OKC, who do a very good job at restricting both points and assists, but also do a great job at restricting those to the guard position, which is what Kyrie Irving is. Now, when it comes to Oklahoma City Thunder, their defensive strategy is usually to stop stars as quick as possible, so they tend to really play that sort of type of basketball, really stop the stars, whether it's Kyrie, even if Luka ends up playing, but as of right now, it is said that Luka isn't going to be playing. So, when it comes to Kyrie, I think a lot of the defensive focus will be on him, and they should try to restrict him as much as possible. So when it comes to his line, I definitely would keep an eye out for points and assists. Like I mentioned, if it is too close to his average, definitely look to go on the under, because I see a lot more value there. So for that reason, keep an eye out for Kyrie Irving. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Scottie Barnes from the Toronto Raptors. Now, Scottie Barnes so far this season has averaged 19.8 points, 8.1 rebounds, 6.6 assists, while also shooting 46.3% from the field. So, he's done a great job for the Raptors, and when it comes to the Raptors, they do have themselves a great matchup against the Atlanta Hawks. Now, Raptors so far this season, 11-32, with the Atlanta Hawks having a better record of 22-21. However, when we also look at the Atlanta Hawks, we see that they rank 28th when it comes to points allowed, 27th when it comes to assists allowed, and then 22nd when it comes to rebounds allowed. So they rank very much in the bottom half in all three categories. And because of that, we do very much like the over for this situation for someone like Scottie Barnes. Scottie Barnes is a fantastic player, and we think with the capability of Atlanta Hawks being very poor at restricting points, rebounds, and assists, we think someone of Scottie Barnes' caliber will be able to take advantage of this. Now, when it comes to Scottie Barnes, he has one of the highest usage rates for this team. You also have Grady, who also does have a decent usage rate, but we don't think it is going to take away from Scottie Barnes. Scottie has been consistent over the last 5 games. We've seen him put up really good numbers over the last 5, and we think that will continue on, especially with the matchup against Atlanta Hawks. Now we look at the matchup as well. Atlanta Hawks are a pretty fast-paced team, and we tend to see them really speed up slower-paced teams. So although Raptors are a little bit slower, we definitely see Raptors coming up to Atlanta Hawks' volume, which should actually lead to more volume for someone like Scottie Barnes, lead to more points, more rebounds, and more assists.